Hi guys, if you're watching this video, then you've either done a trial session or a few PT sessions with me here in London, or you're catching this online and you're looking for a basic introduction to circuit training. Either way, I'll just make sure you've got the right equipment. You will definitely need a set of dumbbells, a kettlebell, and a resistance band, and an ab wheel, and then yoga mat on the ground. And we'll also be using some sort of platform like the sofa for the single leg squat. So that's everything you're going to need. Make sure you've got all of that equipment to hand. Just a quick note about the area you're training in at home, wherever it is. Of course, you need enough space to do various things. The main one, and it's worth doing before we start, is about halfway through the routine. We're going to do the lying chest flies with the dumbbells, which is this one. So you need enough space on either side of you. With straight arms, you need a bit of clearance for the weights. So make sure you've got that set up before you start the routine, and then you can just keep flowing through as we go along. And I'll get straight to a quick 3-minute warm-up. Right, gentle neck stretches, just 2 seconds, holding each side, change. That's 2, don't force this too much. 3, keep it gentle. 4, 5, allow your head to come forward as well as to the side. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, arms and shoulders. So arms out to the side here. Try and get them behind you a little bit. And then internal and external rotations. That's 1, 2, 3. Really reaching back. 4, 5. Stretch the arms and the chest. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we'll go into your trunk twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get some momentum going. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Keep a wide stance, hands on hips. 10 big hip rotations each way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, widen your stance off even more, and then side to side lunges slowly. Use the ground for support. 1, all the way up in the middle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And then 10 big arm swings each direction. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay guys, warm-up is done, and I'm going to start making my way through all the exercises now. So I'm going to have a timer on for everything, just doing 40 seconds for every exercise. Don't worry about how many you're doing, don't worry about counting them. Today, this video is just about making sure you get good form and technique. Okay, we're starting with front squat, holding the kettlebell here. So grab that. Right, 40 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So sit back nice and deep. Keep equal pressure on both feet. And I'm just changing angles so you can see that I'm sitting back onto my heels, trying to get thighs parallel to the ground. And at the top of the movement, just pushing my hips forward to get my glutes firing. Done. Okay, so exercise number 2, we're going straight into press-ups. And of course we've got different variations based on your upper body strength. So starting with the easiest, it's the quarter press-up, and that's on all fours here. So your knees and your hands are quite close to one another. And then of course, doing the press-up, trying to get your nose to the mat. So that's the easiest. And then the further apart your hands and your knees are, the more force your upper body is going to take on the press up, until you get into a full, or rather a half press up position with a straight spine and legs all in line like this. And when you can happily hammer out a load of half press ups, then it's time to get knees up and go to the full press up like this. So you have your different gradients. Keep challenging yourself towards the full press up, and let's do 40 seconds worth of whichever style. So get ready, 3, 2, 1, go. So quarter press ups with your hips in the air, half press ups with a straight back and legs in line. And if you're doing the half press up, bring your pelvis down with you. Whichever style, try and get your nose touching the mat. Done. Okay, come back to standing, guys. So we've done one lower body and one upper body pushing movement. We'll go back to the lower body now, and we'll try something more dynamic. So we're doing the lunges. We're going to do forward alternating lunges, trying to stay nice and upright. So head and shoulders up, swapping legs, and try and step back to exactly the same place you started each time. Okay, 40 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. So it's good to tense your core when you lunge. And by that I mean sort of draw in and tense your abs and lift, tense and lift up even the pelvic floor muscles. Keep everything really taut and controlled in your core. So you're trying not to collapse forward into the lunge. Use your back strength to stay upright. One more. Good. Okay, grab your kettlebell again. It's our first and most important upper body pulling movement. So we're going to do the one-armed row, and we're going to do 40 seconds on each side. So the pulling movements are useful for strengthening your back and your biceps. Any of the pulling movements are good for opening up at the shoulders and encouraging a good posture, as well as back strength, back and arm strength. So the setup here is that wide split stance. Try and keep the back leg straight and prop yourself up. Create a strong frame on the front thigh. Rest your forearm. Okay, and then when we row, we're trying to retract all the way up, catch it for a second, and then slowly down, but only to 3/4. So all the way up, slowly down to 3/4, keeping some tension here in your biceps. Okay, 40 seconds per arm. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Pull, slowly down. Try and match this tempo. Pull, slow. Pull, hold at the top, slow. Pull, slowly down. So some muscles in the centre of the back, your rhomboids, you're only accessing them when you retract fully. Pull, pull. One more. Good, and then you can just pivot round and we'll do the other arm. So just make sure that back leg is straight and locked and you've got a strong frame on the front. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Pull, slowly down, half, 3/4, pull, slow. So the kettlebell never touches the ground, it's always hovering a good 6 inches off. Retract fully. 10 seconds. And one more. Good. Right, that's the first 4 done, and probably the most important. The 4 big fundamentals. 2 lower body, classic lower body movements, squats and lunges, 1 upper body push and 1 upper body pull. Now we'll start to mix things up. So we're doing more lunges, and we'll do the backwards lunge, and now with the front raise as well, just to compensate and keep your balance. So alternating. Okay, 40 seconds, make sure there's space behind you. 3, 2, 1, step back, front raise. 1, 2, 3. So keep your head up. 4, 5, and ideally your back knee, 6, will just about brush the ground. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more. 12. It's good. So I have a set of, these are 7 kg each, and we're doing the overhead press. Yeah, this one. So it's another upper body pushing movement, but because we're going vertically up, it's more of a shoulder and tricep exercise. But that doesn't mean we're not using the rest of the body. So you want a comfortably wide stance and tense your legs for a good base of support, and then get the dumbbells up into this starting position here. Anytime you lift anything overhead, try to resist leaning back as you lift. So keep your abs strong and stay centered. Okay, so start position here, 40 seconds on the overhead press. 3, 2, 1, go. Straight up, all the way up, down. Stretch at the top. So really tense or stiffen your legs into the ground. Your thigh muscles and your glutes behind, keep them tense. And stay strong in your abs. Try not to lean back at all. Done. Okay, so the next 2 is the single leg squat, and we're doing the full 40 seconds on each side. So this is where you need to hook a foot up on either a sofa, a stool, or the bottom step. Anything that works for you. Just some points to note here. Make sure there's enough space between you and the sofa so that when you squat, you're not being forced onto your toes like this. That will put a lot of pressure on your kneecap, your patella. So make sure there's a good 1.5 foot or so between you and the platform you're using. Right, 40 seconds on each side. 3, 2, 1. Squat deep. Don't worry if you don't have full range of movement just yet. Try and slow down the downwards phase, the eccentric phase. Slow it down. Spend some nice time under tension here. Two more on this side. One more. Good. Okay, just a few seconds to get set up. Change leg. So just like the normal lunges, you're trying to stay upright. Try to avoid collapsing forward as you squat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So head up, head and shoulders up, facing across the room. Now, because we're trying to work just that one leg as much as possible, with your other leg, the hanging leg, try and keep as little pressure as possible on the sofa. Make your squatting leg take as much weight as you can. One more, gone. Good. Okay, so moving on, we're going to try and get some more work in your back muscles, but without using any equipment. So we're going to steal a yoga move called the locust. And if you lie flat on your front, chin is on the ground, arms down by your side, feet together, and then we're going to try to raise head, arms, and legs as much as possible. Hold for 3 seconds and then slowly down and repeat. So each time you come down, pop your chin on the ground, just rest 1 second and then back up. 3, 2, 1. Go. So head, arms and legs up. 1, 2, 3, slowly down, chin down and then straight back up. 1, 2, 3, slowly down, up. How much of your legs can you get off the ground? Go again. Don't forget your arms, bring them right back. Go and hold it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, so the next movement in the routine is the squat jumps. So we're introducing some plyometrics, some more explosive work, jumping work, some more power-based movements in the legs. But I may have told you one-to-one here, training in London, if you've got any joint pain or any reason why you're not jumping, to swing a kettlebell here instead. So if I've told you to do that, then do. Don't do the jumps with me now, swing the kettlebell instead. But if you are and you're able to jump, do try them because they're very effective lower body power work, okay, and muscular endurance as well. So let's go into a set of squat jumps for 40 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Sit deep. As soon as you land, straight into the next squat. Cushioned, soft landing. Try and keep your head up. Don't collapse forward. Sit as deep as you can. Still 10 seconds. Good. Okay, those should have got you breathing. So it's about time we got onto the ground. and did a load of core work. So let's do some bridge next, if you lie on your back. Okay, so bridge is hip extension. It's this action here. Anytime you push your hips forward or up, in this case, we're working the glutes, lower back muscles, but you may feel your legs working here too. So we're going to try it and do some stepping into single leg bridge here, but without losing any height in the bridge. So we've got 40 seconds. We'll go up with 2 feet, find your maximum height, and then we'll try some 3-second single leg bridges. Okay, so first things first, up into full bridge. Okay, and then 3, 2, 1, step. 1, 2, 3, and swap. 1, 2, 3. Try not to drop the height in your pelvis. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So either keep stepping, or if that is too much, go back to the 2-footed bridge and just hold your top height here for another 10 seconds. Just push right up to the top. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, guys, next up, it's those lying chest flies. Same position as the bridge. So feet flat in the ground. And this is where you need the space either side of you, so that when you do the fly, you've got the room. There. Okay, so on the chest flies, we've got 40 seconds. Definitely don't worry about numbers here. It's more about maximizing your time in the wider positions, the positions of greater tension. So we want to feel the tension down through the arm and into the chest, the front of the shoulder area here. Start position, lying back, dumbbells up in the air. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so dumbbells right up here. It's the only time they'll be fully together at the top, and then starting in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So try to keep your arms straight and use your core strength to keep your spine pinned to the ground. Come up again. Now, if the weights you have are a bit too heavy to come all the way down here, don't worry. Spend a little bit more time in the top half of the range. Arms as straight as possible. Just finish the rep you're on. Good. Okay, let's use the ab wheel next. So go to the back of your mat, take the wheel with you here, and just a little recap on the wheel. Start with it very close to you. As you start to roll forward, bring your entire body over the wheel with you until you get to the point where your hips can't go any further, and then it's all about how far forwards can you get with your arms and the wheel itself. So you may find that you hit your limit at about something like this angle here. So long as your hips are tucked forward like this, rather than hips back here, you'll still get the ab work. So make sure you have angled your hips into hip extension here, and then hold for a couple of seconds, pull back in with the arms first, and then hips at the end. But aim for a tempo like this. Arms first, hips back in, go again. Okay, so I'll start the 40-second counter and aim for the same kind of tempo as I'm doing. So in 3, 2, 1, go. When you pull back in, arms first, hips second. Go again. So maximum range is pretty much face on the ground. And that will come with time. But if you're at about this range for now, maybe try pausing out here for a few seconds. You can hold it and then come back in, arms first, hips second. Good. Okay, next we'll use the resistance band for some hip abduction, working the glute medius, the muscle on the outside of your hips here, some of the muscles down the outside of your leg for this movement, but we're on the ground and we're going to do 40 seconds on each side. So just put the band around your ankles and then prop yourself up here. And what I'm going to do is, as I push up, I'll do it for a set amount of seconds and then relax for a set amount of seconds. So let's go for 6 seconds pushing up and 3 seconds relaxing down each time. And we'll go to the end of the 40 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, all your strength. 4, 5, 6, and relax. 1, 2, 3. Go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. 2, 3, and push. Go on. 1, all your strength. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. 1, 2, 3, and then go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold it this time. Hold it for another 4, 3, 2. Go on. 1. Good. Okay, and you can just turn around. I'm swiveling all the way around just for the camera, but you can just roll over and do the other leg. Okay, so during the 6 seconds, try and keep the top leg straight and really do use all your strength as you push up. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, go. Go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and then a longer one at the end here. Go on. See, almost 10 seconds. Hold it for another 5, 4. Go on. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So they come typically in packs of 5s, different resistances, and you can play around. You want a decent range of movement, but do challenge yourselves with the tension of the band you pick. Okay, only 4 things left to do, and one of the most basic core exercises next, just a classic plank. So we're just going to work on making it more of an active plank rather than passive. And by that I mean when you're in position, just tensing certain muscle groups. So abs, your quads on the front of your thighs, and your glutes, and locking yourself in position. So we've got a 40-second plank to hold. If you don't manage to hold the full thing and you end up buckling and putting your knees down, don't worry, just try and get straight back up and carry on. Okay, and then just one last thing, you want to try and have your spine as flat as possible. So not up like this, okay, just come down nice and low. All right, 40 seconds in the plank. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, now tense and lock out the fronts of your legs, your quads. So really tense your legs. Crunch and tense your abs, so you're almost rounding off your back a bit. And your glutes, buttocks, squeeze and tense them. And so that's an active plank. And hold it for another 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, 3 things left to do. Let's get some more ab work in and turn over onto your back. So we'll do these lying leg extensions from this start position and then stretching and extending your legs and trying to hold the position there. So the weight of your legs is causing the tension in the abs. Start position is important because we're going to try and keep the small of your back pressed into the ground the whole time. So when you start, tuck up into a ball like this, feel your spine in contact with the mat, and then for 40 seconds we're going to extend. 3, 2, 1, go. Now if you can't stretch your legs all the way out like this, try sticking them up much higher, and if that's too hard, bring one back in, and then you can swap or cycle. But if you're able, both legs locked straight. And then the lower you drop your legs, the more you can tolerate in your abs. Head up off the ground as well. Keep your back pinned down. 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay, second to last exercise, we're going to do the renegade rows with the dumbbells. So put them at the front of the mat. Okay, so if you remember, that's this exercise here where you're up into a tall plank position and then you're rowing alternately, trying to keep your hips low and flat like this rather than hips up here. So try and mimic the plank by staying flat in the spine. If this position is too much for you at the beginning, you can put your knees down into the half version. But if you do that, make sure that your hips are angled forwards rather than being in this position here. So stretch your body out, angle your hips forward, and then start rowing. Okay, 40 seconds on the renegade rows in 3, 2, 1, go. And aim for this tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, try and stay low, try and stay flat. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, one more on each side. 11, 12. Great. Right, guys, final exercise in the routine, and similarly to the squat jumps earlier, I may have already instructed you to skip them and swing the kettlebell instead. Don't swing the kettlebell if you haven't been taught how to do it, but if you're able, this is where we're going to do squat thrusts instead. So that's starting in this position here, jumping out and in. So if you're able to do the squat thrust, it's a very powerful movement, excellent for the core because every time you flex at the hips, you're working the hip flexors and your abs, your arms and shoulders are working. You'll feel your quads burning too, and you'll get your heart rate up. So lots of elements going on. 40 seconds in the squat thrust. If you're doing these, when you jump out, stretch your body out as if you were doing a full press up. So hips are low and flat, body is straight. When you jump back in, all the way in, down on your haunches, not up here. So that's halfway down, all the way back down here. Okay, so 40 seconds, and I'll go a moderate tempo. Try and match me or swing the kettlebell if I've instructed to you. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and jumping all the way out, all the way back in, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more, 12. Okay, so we've finished and we've gone through all 17. It's actually 20 sets if you include things such as being on single limbs, the rows, the single leg squats. So it was 20 different sets, and overall that's every muscle in the body worked. So a good grounding in full body circuit training. And once you've practiced this routine a few times, we'll move you up onto the next level, which is putting all of those movements into a longer circuit with some very strict rest intervals. And that's where it all becomes a bit more dynamic and a much tougher workout all in all. But good job for getting through this one. Do it a few times till you're very happy with it before you move forwards. Okay, well done. Catch you next time.